I made a mistake, bros. I accidentally flipped my camera when I did the video that you're about to see, and so instead of recording myself talking, as you see here, I recorded that pencil box and pen cup for like 12 minutes. So enjoy the stock footage, I guess, because I don't want to not post what I said, but who wants to look at a pen cup? I went to an event, a school event, and it was something that is it's kind of officially put together on a national level down. Anyway, I'll be vague about it because, frankly, the specifics don't matter. But what I want is to make sure that if you record something or if you photograph something, you understand your rights. First of all, if you go to some event, they can't force you to delete whatever you record there. If they don't say, like, in advance that you can't record or whatever, put your phones and cameras away, then by default, you can. And if they don't say anything, then you're in the clear period. Now, if they say something, you can still record. They still can't force you to delete your footage, but they can kick you out. A police officer, generally speaking, cannot demand that you delete footage, delete photos. In general, that's not something that they can do. You have a very strong First Amendment protection. By the way, this is in the United States. If you're in Europe or something, I don't know what to tell you. But in the United States, you have a very strong freedom of speech protection. And that freedom of speech protection involves the ability to create speech. Recording is creating speech. And if you take a picture or you record a video, that is a form of speech and it is legally protected. Now, there are other issues involved. For example, copyright. You have to understand fair use, and that's not something I can go into here right now. You can't just post things that you took in a private setting anywhere you want necessarily. There are a lot of factors involved, but no one can make you delete your footage unless you have contractually agreed to that in advance. You get the idea. In general, what happened with me, maybe I should be more specific. What happened with me is I brought a camcorder. We're in an auditorium. I brought my camcorder. I had a pole, and I had it above head height where everybody in the entire auditorium, since I was in the front row, could see it. There is no way that anyone looking down the front didn't see some guy's got a camcorder with a flip-out screen on a pole in the front row recording. Well, they said later, like someone came up to me like 3/4 of the way through and said, actually, according to the rules, people aren't supposed to record this. And I basically, whatever. Whether they didn't ask me directly to delete the footage, but they said that I probably needed to delete the footage. I talked to him for a little bit and kind of distracted him from it. But no, I didn't have to delete the footage, and I didn't. And they can't do anything about it because no one said anything in advance. I didn't agree to anything. I was not contractually obligated to anything. I went to the event. I recorded most of the event. That recording is mine forever, and they can't do anything about it. They can't legally come after me for it. They can't have the cops make me delete it. Nothing. Even if I'm there, they can't make me delete it. And that is ultimately the point, is that you have strong protections that prevent people from seizing your SD cards, from forcing you to erase the contents of them. You cannot legally be made, under the vast majority of circumstances in the United States of America, to delete what you have filmed or photographed, especially if it's in a public place. If you're in a private place, they may be able to kick you out. They may be able to legally restrict you from disseminating that footage to others due to things like one versus two party consent states. There's a lot of legal nuance there, but the bottom line is they can't make you actually delete the recordings. That's not something that is under any, they just can't do it. It's not possible. The only exception really would be something like a movie, something where you're going to go see a copyrighted work. And if you go to see a movie, you can't just record the movie off the screen legally. I think everybody kind of knows this, and you get arrested if you do in a movie theater, and they can do that because you went in knowing that it was a copyrighted work. But when I go to a school function, that is not a copyrighted work. I'm not attending a play or watching, it's not a work that is fixed in a tangible medium, particularly what I was doing. But the bottom line is that while they wanted me to delete it, they really didn't push very hard. Somehow they missed that I was recording until 3/4 of the way through. We theorized that some parent somewhere was butthurt about the way that things went with this event, and saw the camera and went, we're gonna, there shouldn't be a record of the thing I'm butthurt about. But that's just a theory. I have no substantive proof. But how else could you miss a camcorder on a stick at the front of the auditorium, people? Come on, you've got to be blind to not know that a camcorder was recording video of an event. And my point is that legally they could not make me delete it. If the sheriff deputy that was there came up and on their behalf asked me to delete the footage, I could assert my right. And no, I don't have to delete the footage. It is legally protected, First Amendment protected speech, and I don't have to delete it. And it's a civil matter at most. They can sue me if they want me to delete it, but they're not going to do that. They can kick me out if they don't like that I didn't comply with the rule I wasn't told about, but it's private property or whatever. You get the idea. So I didn't want to get too deep into those nuances, private versus public. If you're on private property, they can't necessarily tell you to stop filming, but they most definitely can tell you to leave. And if you don't, then you're trespassing and you can go to jail. So the bottom line is that you pretty much are free to film and photograph almost anywhere. If you're in a public place, on a public sidewalk, on a DOT right-of-way, a lot of that stuff, it's public, and you have an absolute right to wave your camera around and take pictures of things. If you take a picture of a building, there are certain, interesting architecture can be copyrighted, which is stupid if you ask me. But that's a copyright issue, and it's still visible from public, so they can't just argue your picture is copyright infringement just because the building's in it. And even then, like I said, civil matter. It's all civil matter if it's just copyright like that. Now, if you know that you're going in there and filming a full movie, that's criminal copyright infringement, yeah, they can arrest you for that. But in general, if you're in public, you can photograph and video to your heart's content, and no one's allowed to do anything about it. Of course, that doesn't stop people from standing in front of your camera or ruining your shot, but they can't take your camera, they can't take your SD card, they can't force you to erase media from the card. If they erase your media, they've actually destroyed your property and they've broken the law. If they take your SD card or camera, then they have broken the law and they can go to jail. In private settings, like say you came into my house, you could still potentially film. There are some exceptions like, peephole laws or whatever, basically creeping on women through a door crack or whatever. You're filming naked people that don't know they're being filmed. There are some legal exceptions. It depends on your jurisdiction. In private settings, they still can't force you to delete your footage, but they can kick you out. You can't be kicked off public property in general, but you can be kicked out of private property. They can trespass you so that you can never come back. In the case of the thing I was at, if I refused to leave or if I didn't delete footage or whatever, they can always say, well, you're not allowed to the next one or whatever. But the remedies kind of stop there. They can't force me to delete my footage. The whole point of this video really is just to let you know that in the vast majority of cases, if you photo or video something, no one can force you to delete your footage, hand over your card, hand over your camera. It is not legal. Even police cannot force you to hand over your card or camera. They would have to have probable cause that, say, you filmed child pornography or something. They would have to have some sort of probable cause, which, remember, the layman's rule for probable cause is there a crime that, and is there evidence that they probably caused that crime to happen? Merely taking a picture and someone being angry and saying that they don't like what you may have filmed is not sufficient probable cause to then warrant taking your equipment and things like that. So assert your photographer's right to document things and so on. Now, I know a lot of you know my position on the whole ICE Minnesota thing. And yes, you can legally just stand there and film someone performing police actions. What you can't do is assault people. You cannot, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but the people in Minneapolis that are going after ICE officers, they have a giant coordinated network where they are sharing information about people they think are. I mean, it's like military style stuff where they're tracking people. They are literally stalking people they think are involved with ICE and going after them, trying to do all kinds of things to make their lives miserable. A loud enough sound can be considered an assault. All that whistling and stuff, yeah, if it's loud enough, you're committing the crime of assault. It is not within your photographer's right to harm other people while you're recording. And a lot of people don't understand that. You can stand there and film. You can't hurt people. You can't. If you want to be the better person, if you want to claim that you're filming to make sure that everything is lawful and legal and nobody gets harmed or killed without evidence, that's fine. But you don't get to sit there, blow a whistle, and scream right next to the police officer or anybody really. You can't hurt people while you photograph or video. Don't do that. This is stupid, man. Why am I telling grown adults? I presume you're all grown adults watching this. Why am I telling grown adults to not do stupid things? It's amazing to me, and I think that's kind of what we've lost in this country, is all these people are gassed up by all these psychos on the internet that tell them all this wrong stuff. You can maximally assert your rights without harming other people, without depriving them of their own rights and their own security. There are ways to do that. Some people choose not to do that, but they have been falsely told that they can do that, and it's within their rights to abuse others. Don't be a dick. Don't be that guy, girl, or inexplicable gender ambiguous troll. Okay? Just don't do it. You don't have to. Just film, shut up, enjoy the hobby, or, your whatever, your righteous crusade, whyever you're doing it. Just do it and stop complaining about it. Stop abusing the privilege. Like, you have this wonderful right to be able to create the speech that helps other people understand the world around them and appreciate what's going on, or find things to look into. And you're going to use that as the foot in the door to be able to just, hit people with cars or basically scare them or assault them or make it impossible for them to do what they're supposed to be doing. Do I really have to give you guys a lecture on how to be adults? I don't think I should have to. And that's why this video ends now. And it's well within my right to stop talking. Have a wonderful day.